Hello students, my name is Shesi George, your professional accounting teacher. Before you continue with this video, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Alright, let's get started. In this video, we are going to solve this question, and it's based on variance analysis. So before you start, like I always say, look at the requirement. The requirement says that we should calculate the total material costs variance, the material price variance, the material usage variance, the mix variance, and the yield variance. Okay, you have been given an information that will be used to compute these variances. But let me quickly do a kind of analysis when it comes to cost variance. When it comes to cost variance, okay, material cost variance can be splitted into two. We have the material price variance and material usage variance. Don't forget this. All right. Now, the usage variance can further be splitted into material mix variance and yield variances. All right. So we need to calculate the price. So the question says we should calculate the material cost variance, the material price, the usage, the mix, and the yield. Okay. Now, number one, for the material cost variance, don't forget, what is variance? Variance is nothing but the difference between the standard and the actual. So for material cost variance is the addition of material price variance plus material usage variance. Okay, material usage variance. All right. Now, in this question, let's look at material price variance. Don't forget, material price variance is nothing but the standard price minus the actual price multiplied by the actual quantity of material purchased. Okay. Now, in this question, let's pick. We have two materials, that is material X and material Y. Material X and Y. Okay. Then the standard prices of this material X and Y are 3 naira and 2 naira. All right, 3 naira and 2 naira. All right, that's the standard. Then the actual price of this material is given in total. Okay, so to get the price per unit, you divide the total material price divided by the quantity that was purchased. Okay, this is the quantity that was purchased. All right, so let's go for material X. We have the standard price to be 3 naira minus the total cost of material X purchased. Okay, is 27,000. So we have 27,000 divided by the actual quantity that was purchased is 9,900. Okay, then you multiply by the actual quantity purchased, of course, which is 9,900 kilograms. Okay, then this will give, by the time you press your calculator, to give you 27,000 naira. That is, if your answer is positive, it is favorable. Okay, it is favorable. I told you when you are asked to calculate costs, any cost variances, start with the standard. Once your answer is positive, you write favorable. Then for Y, material Y, our standard cost of material is 2. Standard cost of material is 2 naira. So you have 2 naira. Then the actual cost of material is given in total. So what do? You say the total cost divided by the quantity purchased. All right, that is 11,000 naira divided by 5,300. Then multiply by 5,003 kg. This is the actual quantity purchased according to the formula, and that will give you nothing but 400, and it's negative, that is adverse. Then we can now add these two. This is plus 27 plus 2,700 minus 400, and that will give you 2,300 naira favorable. So this is material price variance. All right, so our material price variance is 2,000 favorable. Okay, 2,000. All right, now let's look at the material usage variance. Material usage variance. So we have material usage variance is nothing but the standard quantity to be consumed minus the actual quantity that was consumed on production times the standard price. Okay, the standard price. All right, now let's look at our standard quantity for X. So what is the standard quantity of S? You open a small bracket, go to the cost card. The standard quantity is 2 kg. So you multiply by the actual quantity produced, actual output produced, which is 5,000 units. 5,000 units. Okay, that's the standard quantity. Then you open a bigger bracket minus what is the actual quantity of X that was consumed. It is the same thing with the purchased. So in this case, the actual quantity purchased is the same thing as actual quantity consumed. So, and which is 9,900. Then you multiply by the standard price, and the standard price is 3 naira. All right, and when you multiply this is 10,000. So this will give you 10,000 minus 99, that is 100. Then you multiply, and this will give you finally 300 naira favorable. Okay, then for Y you do the same thing. What is the standard quantity? The standard quantity is 1 kg. The standard quantity is 1 kg. All right, which is 1 multiplied by actual output 5,000 units. Okay, minus what is the actual material consumed. Is the same thing with the purchase, 5,300. All right, which is 5,300. Okay, then multiply by the standard price, which is 2, and this, the standard price of material is 2 naira. The standard price of material is 2 naira. Okay, so when you calculate this 5,000, that will give you minus 6. So that is 600. But this time around, this is unfavorable. That is, the answer to this will give you negative. Then when you subtract, what do you have? We have 300 adverse. Okay, so this is material usage variance. Okay, material usage variance. All right, so our material cost variance, so if this one is 300 adverse, so our material cost variance will now be 200 favorable, 203 favorable plus 300 adverse. At the end of the day, what do you have? You have 2000 favorable. Okay, so that's our material cost variance, is 2000 naira favorable. Okay, all right, now let us look at material mix variance, material usage mix variance. Okay, which is the usage is the addition of mixed and yield, addition of mix and yield. Now to do this, you need a working. All right, you need a working, and that working is, you have your working note 1. The first thing, if you have to calculate the usage variance, is to calculate the actual, don't forget, actual quantity in standard mix, actual quantity in standard mix, that is AQSM, must be calculated first. All right, so for X, now when we talk of actual quantity here, my actual quantity before this X, let's look at actual quantity. The actual quantity will be the quantity consumed. So this is the actual quantity consumed on the on X and Y. All right, on X and Y, which is nothing but 9,000 for X. I think actual quantity consumed for X is 9,900. 9,900 plus for Y is 5,300. 5,300. So when you add this together, it's going to give you 15,500. It's going to give you 15,500 and 300. Okay, so it's going to give us 15,200, rather 15,200. Okay, when you add these two together, it's going to give you 15,200. So don't forget, let's now calculate our ASMQ. So our ASMQ will now be, for X, our AQSM will now be actual quantity. Look at the actual quantity. Don't forget, of the two materials, if there are 3, you add the 3 together. So we have 15,200 in standard mix of X. So what is the standard quantity of X? The standard quantity of X is 2. Okay, that is ratio 2. The standard quantity of Y is 1. So when you add 2 to 1, 2 plus 1, that is 3. That is 3. Then this will give you 10,133 kilograms. Okay, then for Y, actual quantity, don't forget, in standard mix, that is 1/3, and this will give you 5,067 approximately. Okay, now we can now calculate. So let us calculate our, once this is done, we can now calculate our material mix variance. Okay, mix variance. So material mix variance is nothing but actual quantity in standard mix, all right, minus actual quantity consumed, actual quantity consumed in standard mix minus actual quantity, don't forget this formula, multiply by the standard price. So for X, the actual quantity in standard mix of X is 133 minus the actual quantity. The actual quantity consumed is 9,900, all right? 9,900. Then multiply by the standard price, and the standard price is 3. So when you manipulate this, what do you have? Then for Y, we have the actual quantity in standard mix, all right, which is 567 minus the actual quantity, which is 5 times the standard price, and the standard price is 2. Okay, all right. So for X, you have 699 favorable. When you manipulate this, it's going to give you a negative 466 adverse. All right. So when you subtract, so let us subtract, or you add the two together. So you have 699 plus minus the answer. So this will give you 233. Of course, favorable. So our material mix variance is this. Okay. So from the diagram, our material mix variance is 223 favorable. Don't forget 223 favorable. And I told you that mix plus yield must give the usage. So let's calculate the yield. So for the yield variance, we have material yield variance is, for the yield variance, all right, okay, all right. So for the yield variance, we have the standard quantity minus actual quantity in standard mix, then multiply by the standard price. Okay, so we have for X, our standard quantity of X is being calculated to be 10,000 minus the actual quantity in standard mix, which is 10,133, multiplied by the standard price, which is multiplied by 3. Then for Y, our standard quantity, don't forget, is 5,000 multiplied by the actual quantity in standard mix, which has been calculated, multiplied by 2. Okay, all right. Now somebody is asking me, how do we get the standard quantity? The standard quantity, don't forget, the standard quantity, you go to the cost card, which is this, multiply by the actual output. It has been done before. 1 kilogram of Y, multiply by the actual output. Okay, so when you manipulate this, so let us manipulate this. So we have, this will give us a negative figure at the end of the day, which is 133 times 3. Okay, so this is 399 adverse. This will also give us a negative figure, and times 2. That's 134 also adverse. So when you manipulate this out, we have 33. Okay, that is 533, both adverse. So this is our material yield variance. Then from the diagram above, this will give us 5.3 adverse. All right. Now I told you, if you add these two together, this is favorable, this is adverse. So let's see. When you have two 233, okay, 233 minus 533, of course, and which is usage. The usage is now 3. All right, so by the time you add these two together, it must give you this. Okay, so with this question, I believe you have understood the concept of variance analysis by calculating mix and yield variances. All right, so if you have any question, don't forget to private chat me. All right, so if you love this question, please share this video with your friends. I remain your professional accounting teacher, Shesi George. Thank you. Bye.